Hi, come on in everybody. I've been missing in action. I'm sorry, I've been so busy and I decided it was time. And this is kind of a mix-up video with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And thanks, come on in and sit down and we'll get into it. So, what should I do first? Saturday was garage sailing day. You know that we love our garage sailing, and probably 90% or more of our decorations are from garage sales. And we bargain hunt. And if you're living on a kind of lower income, it's amazing what you can do. And we get up in the morning and have our coffee and breakfast, no rush. We don't have great big maps or any route. We just have a drive that we do. We're usually gone by, say, 8:30, and we're back at home before lunch easily. Lots of times we're back by 10:30. So we just do kind of the neighborhood type thing. We don't go out of our way, and enjoy the drive and look at the yards and see how the people's yards look, and no stress, just a complete getaway from our normal routines. So anyway, garage sale. And everybody says quite often on my site, where did you get that top? It's so cute. And I'll type back. I don't know how many of you read the comment section. I'll say, oh, garage sale or a thrift store. It's true. You know, most of the things, that's how we shop. And I have to prove it to you. So, we'll start off with that. So, this nice little top, and it's got about 10% wool in it. It's part polyester. She said she never wore it. Her sister bought it for her. It's called Yumi. I don't know like names of what's good, what isn't, but I did notice the price on here had been $131. Now, it is so cute, and it'll be warm for our Canadian winters. And what do you think I paid for this? Tags are still on it. This tag would have had to been cut off. It's not been worn. I paid $2 for this top. Okay, it gets better. So, that's the first one I want to show you. Now, then we went to this other garage sale. And, you know, sometimes you don't find anything, sometimes you do. And I don't know, colors attract me in different things, but I must have been thinking fall. So, this lady had these two tops. Whoops. Now, I don't think they're any big name brands. They're brand new. The tags are still on them. They say R&B collection. So, they fit. They look really nice on. And $1 each. She said she ordered them online, and she just never liked them. So, where did that price go? Anyway, oh, here it is. Here's a tag, $1 each. So, it's amazing what you can find when you do go garage sailing. And the other kind of a funny thing is this. I got, what is it? But all the beads kind of, there's all these beads on here. This one is, and a lot of them have different signs of the zodiac, Chinese writing. Anyway, I got 3 of them. They're all different, and they were 3 for $5. And I thought I might use them for some artsy. But before I tried to make a picture frame out of them or something, I thought I should look them up. I was so surprised. There's only 2 or 3 of them online, and they are selling for $178. And I know you, whoops, where am I going to get that? I know that you can go online and find almost any price, anything. But anyway, I found this, and it was $178. So I was pretty pleased with that. If I wanted to sell the 3 of them, I could probably sell them real quick for $100 each. I don't know how to do that. I've never sold anything on eBay. Anyway, that was a surprise. So, enough of the garage sale stuff. Now, some of the comments I'm getting, as you know, on my watering day, I had used some rooting hormone, powdered hormone, in my water for my repot. And I had used it for the rinse water in my sink for 1 watering. And holy smokes, I was so impressed. And I don't believe orchids show that quickly when you're changing watering schedules and stuff. They're slow growers, so they usually don't show really quickly that something worked or didn't work. But I have ordered some seaweed extract, and as some other people do, I'm going to put it into my watering schedule, and I'm going to put it, I have like 5 weeks on my watering schedule. I'm now going to add a 6th. I don't like to jump into using too much stuff, and I figure it's always better to err on the side of caution with the orchids and do not overdo it. So 1 watering every 6 weeks, just a couple drops at the most in my 5-gallon sink. So I'm going to start doing that. I noticed that it was just starting to show the roots. The repot that I used it on back here, I've trimmed 1 flower off. It's still in bloom. All the leaves are still firm, and it seems to be doing better. And I think it was Deborah left a message, and she said that she puts 1 drop or 2, 1 or 2 drops. You know how we soak our bark for 3 days? She puts 1 or 2 drops of the extract in the water that the bark is soaking in a Ziploc bag or the bucket, whatever you're using, and lets it soak for 3 days, rather than just soaking the roots, which you still could do. For repotting, it is, come here, let Mom have her. There you go. She's being a baby about jumping on a chair for some reason. So also, when you're repotting, when you do that soak before you, on a new orchid that's in moss from the grocery store, and you soak it before you start pulling all that moss out, it could be soaking in 1 drop of seaweed extract before you start pulling all this stuff out. So it would be getting it in the bark, and then a lot of that is pulled away, but it will get there. And so that was a kind of good thing. Quite a few people have said they see roots growing and leaves growing, and this is all good. I think this is a really good watering schedule where you're incorporating a lot of good things. But the 3 most important things are, we have to start thinking about, we want to make sure we're going into fall, we have to start thinking about spiking. So how are we going to encourage spiking? We're going to encourage it with good lighting. You must have good lighting. There are many ways to get good lighting. Usually, if you're in a winter situation, mine are in west windows. And we did add some LED, very cheap stick-on strip lighting, goes right around for the darker days of winter. I like to make sure I know they're getting enough light. But that being said, preferably 12 to 16 hours. They still need to have their sleepy time, dark time, no lights. Don't think, okay, I'm going to leave my lights on all day and night. Do not do it. 12 to 16 hours, light, good light. There's many ways you can add light. We put up a ceiling fan. That fan really, really helped them. That was one thing I really noticed, a lot more growth. The breeze will help stop bug infestations, mildew. If you've watered in the morning, it helps dry them off. And it's been good for us too. So yes, we put in a fan, and I have the light around this window. I have a different setup in there. So if you just have a light fixture near where your orchids are, think about getting your light and a fan together because it really is nice. Or you can buy clip-on fans, especially when you're grouping your orchids, because that helps with the humidity in the dry winters, is keeping them together in an area, not spreading them out for the room, and keeping them close to the light, not far away. So that all helps with the humidity also. So the light, the humidity, and the roots need air around them. So just start watching and thinking where you're putting them, that they'll be in a nice bright spot for winter. And thank you to, oh yes, I've had people tell me to do this squash casserole, and we have so many squash out in the garden that I've been making this. I've made it twice now. It's delicious. You like take 3 kinds of squash, and sliced tomatoes, and onions, and put it all in a pot, and I put V8 juice on the bottom, and I put salt and pepper, put foil over it, put it in the oven for an hour. It is delicious. We all love it. So I learned a lot from you guys, and I hope you learned something from me. So that's about it. I want to take you for a tour of my orchids. I was looking at them, thinking most of them have 8 leaves. Some of them have just finished growing a leaf and are busy growing another leaf. This is all good signs that we've been giving them their nitrogen. They're growing, they're getting ready to produce beautiful spikes of flowers this winter. It's going to be wonderful. So I'm going to take you on a tour of the 2 windows, and thank you again for being my friends. Okay. I think I better turn that fan. Sorry, I'm just turning the switch back on. That should have been. Okay, so I do have my misters on. I kind of put them on for the video, but our humidity has been high lately. We've had hot weather, no rain, but must be the lake or something, but I don't know, just so this is the one I repotted in the last video. It did not lose any flowers. I've tripped one off, and this one's kind of hanging, but they're still pretty nice. I'd say no shock. And the leaves are still good. It's watering day tomorrow, and yes, it looks really dark and dry on the top in the bark, but that's okay. Don't think, oh my God, it's going to die. It's okay. Now this leaf just grew. It grew so fast. It's nice and big. And there's another one coming down in there. And the roots have been doing, look at this. I mean, I'm going to have fun. I've had this in this pot for 3 years next spring. That is an aerial root, everybody. Going all the way from up there down. Just amazing. So it's going to be a 2-person job, and I will not take it out of the pot. I'll just shake the bark out when I do it. So that'll be an interesting video. It has lots of leaves. I'm hoping for more than one spike this year. It's been gathering energy. So, onward. This, of course, it was a base of a lamp upside down that we drilled holes in. Okay. Lots of new leaves still coming. Yeah, this was a new leaf, and now there's a new one coming again. And lots of roots, too. So just notice that even though I do mist a couple times a day, now this is dry because it is my watering day probably tomorrow. So they're looking good. The leaves are good. And they're not lost too many leaves. Most of them have really hung on to their leaves. If you remember when I potted in this one, I got at a garage sale. It did have some limp leaves. I think doing the 3-day soak has been a bonus. So, okay, off to the other window. There's something kind of fun I want to show you in there. Turn too fast. Okay. Now, if you remember, at a garage sale, this was an old clock. I think I paid $5 for it or something. It was oak. So all I had to do was clean it up, and Jack fixed a couple of things, and I put a little ornament in it, and I thought, well, doesn't that look nice? And I don't know if you can see these elephants. We got them at Kindle thrift store for $5 a few years ago, and they had only a thing where someone had cut a lamp off, but there was a piece of metal sticking out their back, and Jack made lamps. And then he bought these fun lights that flicker. It looks like these elephants are leading a light in the jungle or something. These are called, you can buy them online and you can use them, and they're called the flame light. So if you think you might want to look at them for patio lights, or you can put them in almost any one, and they do 3 or 4 different lights, and they're showing them on different things outside or inside. So there's that. Now we have lots of leaves coming here. This is a new leaf. Now it's also growing another leaf, and lots of roots. Lots of roots down in there. Now they're fine. They've been a week without water. They are fine. New leaf here. Of course, this one is one that struggled, but now it's got another new leaf coming. And this is the one that has a spike coming down in here. Early for me to have that spike. Okay. And we're doing good here too. This one has a new leaf. Lots of roots. These roots are still happy. Okay. And here, this was a new leaf. Most of these have about 8 leaves on them. I was counting, which is good. More leaves, more flowers, more energy. There we go. I did put this little slipper orchid over the bowl. I thought about it when I was talking to you guys, and I thought, you know, maybe I should do it. And since then, I see some more new growth coming in there. It does seem happier getting this extra humidity. So this was the last new leaf on this one. It has lots of leaves. I'm so excited to wait to see how winter goes with the leaves. Of course, this is the one that got damaged, but it's doing good. It's hanging in. It's got a root growing happy right there. I think the shock of it all made that grow. So we're doing good there. So anyway, just a short video to say hi, and I'm still around, and there'll be an exciting Cement Lady video coming very soon. Thanks, everybody.